Hi, everyone. My name is Jamie Zeitzer. I'm a professor of psychiatry and behavioral sciences at Stanford University. And today I'm here to answer your questions about sleep and circadian rhythms. We're diving right in. First question is, should night owls try to adjust their sleeping times for health, even if they've managed to create lives that would accommodate late sleeping times? This is a great question. Basically, the short answer is it's fine to be a night owl, and it's fine. You don't need to adjust your times for health if you can basically create this environment where you can get enough sleep. This is the biggest problem with night owls is that they stay up late and then they have to get up for school or they have to get up for work, and that curtails their sleep, and then they're under chronic sleep deprivation, and that's not good. But if you're a night owl and you manage to find a job or a school and you take late classes, I still remember many of my fellow students as an undergrad who were liberal arts majors. I was always very jealous. Their first class, was often at 11 or 1, and I was getting up for 8 o'clock labs. It's fine. It totally works. The next question is, does taking something to help sleep, like sleeping aids, pills, melatonin, lessen the positive benefits of sleep? So when we look at sleep-inducing drugs like the benzodiazepines or the BZRAs like Lunesta and Ambien, these are kind of creating an artificial state of sleep. It's not exactly sleep, but it's definitely not wake. So you are asleep, but it doesn't recapitulate all of the things that are happening during natural sleep. Now, that being said, they're often very useful for short-term things. So if you have an event and you can't sleep, your dog died, and you're having difficulty falling asleep, taking a pill to help you sleep, it's not ideal, but it's not the worst thing in the world. For long term, it's not a good idea to be taking medication to help you sleep on a regular or semi regular basis. There are a newer class of sleep medications that are out there now, which are called DORAs or dual orexin receptor antagonists. These can be helpful for sleep because they actually don't change sleep. What they do is they reduce your wake drive. So they make you less wakeful, and that can enable you to fall asleep. So those are probably a bit better. Moving on to the next question. If sleep deprivation gets worse over time, can sleep deprivation improve if you get more than 9 hours for more than 2 weeks? We don't have a great answer to this. We do know that there is this kind of accumulation of sleep debt, but it's not a one to one. If, for example, you need 8, but you're getting 6, and you do this for 100 days, you don't all of a sudden have 200 hours of sleep debt that you need 200 extra hours in order to compensate for that. There's a nonlinearity to it, and it's not a one-to-one accumulation. And similarly, it's not a one-to-one dissipation when you get extra sleep. So it's really hard to say exactly how this works. You also have differences in how people accumulate the sleep pressure and how they dissipate the sleep pressure. So some people get rid of sleep need really fast, and other people, it takes them more time. When you even look over the course of a lifespan, adolescents, they accumulate sleep pressure more slowly and dissipate it much faster than adults do. So again, there's a lot of complexity to it. We don't have a great answer to that, unfortunately. How important is it to sleep at particular times? So again, really great questions here. So having a regular time, I think, is more important than having a specific time. So the timing of when you're sleeping is adjusting the timing of when you're getting light and when you're getting dark. And this is adjusting the timing of this internal circadian clock. And this internal circadian clock is really crucial for anticipating events in your body, anticipating things like when are you supposed to eat, when are you supposed to exercise, when are you supposed to wake up, when are you supposed to go to sleep. And so the more routine your sleep schedule is, the more routine your light dark schedule becomes. And then the more able your circadian system is to anticipate when you're supposed to fall asleep and when you're supposed to wake up. This will make it much easier to fall asleep and much easier to wake up. So in that sense, it's really important to keep this kind of as regular schedule as possible. Any advice for revenge bedtime procrastination? I have no issue falling asleep when I get into bed, but the issue is getting myself to go to sleep. I'm stressed and anxious all day, and nights are my personal time, so I think that makes me want to stay up. So this is a fantastic question and this great conundrum. Well, not great for you, but great scientifically. So many of us lead really stressful lives. And it is really hard to go from being super stressed to being very calm. You just can't be stressed, and then 5 minutes before bed go, okay, now I'm going to relax. That's going to be really difficult to do, whether it's yoga or breathing exercises or listening to music or reading a book. Me, I like doing puzzles. like crosswords and Sudokus, again, it doesn't go from 60 to 0. You have to do it gradually. Now, if you can't do this, if it's difficult to actually kind of reduce the daily stressors, and many of us live lives that really just, saying like, oh, just be less stressed, well, that's not actually that helpful. But if you can't be less stressed, then we do need these kinds of crutches. You're staying up because it's calming you down. You're tired, but you're just too wired and too stressed to go to sleep. And you need to kind of have that wind down time. And so finding something that will kind of enable that is great. Now, my one suggestion with that is don't pick anything that's so engaging that you just want to stay awake later. So be very cognizant of what you're doing, that you try to pick something that isn't too exciting. So that when you actually have reached that balance, that equilibrium of now you're actually relaxed enough that you're not so engaged or engrossed in whatever it is that you're doing, that it's going to displace sleep even more than it already has. So that's all the questions I have for today. And thank you very much.